Hundreds of people are being advised to leave their homes tonight in parts of Scotland as Storm Babet closes in, bringing what may be unprecedented rainfall. The Met Office has warned that some communities could be cut off for several days by severe flooding. Heavy rain is already sweeping its way through parts of northern and eastern Scotland, and a red weather warning has just come into force tonight, which means a risk to life. Now, the warning covers Aberdeenshire and Angus and will stay in place until midday tomorrow. Around 350 residents living in the town of Brechin have already been advised to leave their homes. Our correspondent Fiona Trott is there for us tonight. Fiona.
Sophie, this flood defence wall is the only thing that's separating people from danger or disaster, and there's a real concern that it could be breached tonight. That is why, right now, Angus Council is knocking on people's doors, hundreds of doors here in Brechin, advising them to leave. In terms of rainfall, the Met Office say they can't recall anything like this in Scotland since named storms began.
The sea sending a signal 5 hours before the red warning comes into effect. Stonehaven is used to storms, but not like this.
I think it's way over what it used to be. I don't remember this as much when I was young. I mean, I grew up here and it does seem to be a lot worse, the storms. And it's almost every year. Every year, round about now, you get some big storm.
We've seen big storms, but nothing with the froth like this.
It's not just here in Stonehaven where they're protecting their property. Here in Brechin, it's a race against time for Chris.
It's bricks and mortar at the end of the day. Somebody can't take it off you. A river can take it off you. Flooding can take it away from you.
So what's going through your mind knowing that this might be happening in the next few hours?
This was a retirement project and I'm just a bit... It's just not happening, is it? It's not happening. It's not happening.
At Paul and Kim's house, just moments later, the official warning comes through.
Instructing people to leave their houses.
I'm not going.
Are you going to?
Yeah, oh aye.
I'm not leaving my dog. I am not doing this again. No way.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
A tough conversation. And this is just one family in one town. Will they and others heed the advice?
We're not going to be able to eliminate the disruption. I'm afraid there will be significant disruption given the amount of heavy rainfall that's likely to fall. But we want to, first of all, prioritise people's welfare. And the way people can do that is listen to the advice, particularly in that red weather warning area. And the most important thing you can do is listen to the advice about travel. So if you're in the red weather warning area, do not travel.
Is this what they could be facing? Parts of Ireland have already been flooded. This is Middleton in County Cork yesterday, a town completely submerged. Back here in Brechin, they're bracing themselves. This road is already turning into a river, and the red weather warning has only just come into effect. Fiona Trott, BBC News, Angus.
Let's move on to other news now. And here, emergency measures are underway in parts of Scotland tonight as a rare red weather warning for flooding has come into force. Now, there are predictions that Storm Babet could make it Scotland's wettest day ever. Schools, businesses and leisure centres have been closed, residents evacuated and even funerals postponed. Well, Storm Babet has hit the UK tonight, bringing strong winds and heavy rainfall with up to 250 millimetres. That's nearly 10 inches of rain expected in some areas. Weather warnings have been put in place for most of Scotland, but the worst of it is north of Edinburgh. In the town of Brechin, a red warning has come into force in the past hour. It's already been partly evacuated, with hundreds being told to leave their homes. Our reporter, Scotland reporter Louise Scott is there for us. Louise, how's it looking right now?
It's windy, it's extremely wet. The rain has not let up since the early hours of this morning. Might be tricky to see, but the river behind me here is the main concern. It's close to bursting its banks. The pathway there is already submerged, and that red weather warning has only come into place in the past hour. Locals were quite calm today. They are very much hoping the flood defence systems work, but this is the most extreme weather warnings that brings with it a risk to life. This is the calm before the storm, but the impact is already being felt. Rain and wind has been battering Scotland's east coast from the early hours, and there's no signs it's stopping. A month's rain is expected over 48 hours. Records are set to be broken for the wettest 2 days in Scotland's history. In the Angus town of Brecon, 380 homes are being told to evacuate. Residents are used to the floods, but many are hoping the flood defence system will protect them this time.
The truth, I've been flooded up to here in this kitchen.
Wow, so you've had flooding here before?
Yeah, way back in the day. That was before I built the walls and front and back. And
right up to your...
Right up to our waist, and we were out of the house for 10 months.
But despite the warnings, many residents have felt there's a lack of support on the ground.
I just wish the council would give you help. I mean, I'm 82, I've got pulmonary disease, which I'm short of breath, and I had to carry these things from there to there. Nobody to help me, no nothing.
With a red weather warning, were you expecting the council to be doing more to help homes?
Yes, I thought they'd been doing here.
Resilience teams say they've been dealing with the most vulnerable first, but right across the country, action has been taken with trains cancelled and warnings to avoid the roads.
Listen to the advice, do not travel. We know there's going to be significant disruption. There could be harm to people if they do not listen to that advice. So I could not stress strongly enough, if you are in the red weather warning area in particular, do not travel. If you're in the amber and yellow weather warnings areas, please look at what those weather warnings mean.
Red weather warnings are the most extreme and indicate there is a danger to life. Business owners in nearby Forfar are concerned for what's ahead.
To be honest with you, when I heard last night, I was a wee bit nervous. I thought, here we go, is it going to be as bad as the last time or the time before? Because we have been flooded a couple of times now.
These are parts of Scotland which are used to dealing with extreme weather, but the unpredictable nature of this storm means they need to prepare for the worst. Louise Scott, ITV News, Brecon.
I mean, we often joke, don't we, about biblical weather and stuff. I mean, this is really serious.
Yeah, this is really serious, and red warnings aren't issued every day. And I would urge people to follow all of the advice. You know, flood water can hit you like a solid, it will sweep you away, and also it can be very dirty and bring the risk of disease, and we don't need any extra worries. But as I say, this red warning very much in place, and as you've been hearing, it could be Scotland's wettest day ever. In fact, their wettest day so far was 238 millimetres of rain, and that was back in 1974. But we are predicting maybe as much as 250 millimetres of rain falling in the next 24 hours. And when you consider within that red warning area is Dundee, and their annual rainfall is 778 millimetres, well, they could see a third of their annual rainfall in just 1 day. So that would cause some disruption. As you can see, we've got amber and yellow warnings where we could see as much as 100 millimetres, 200 millimetres in places. So this is going to be very impactful. And as we saw where Louise is this evening, she said it's been raining there all day, but we haven't seen the heaviest of the rain. It's going to get a lot worse. And you can see as we head into tomorrow, the red warning does expire at midday tomorrow, but we are left with a number of rain and wind warnings in place, which again could be quite impactful. We really do have to start keep a watchful eye on those warnings as we head through the next 24 hours.